CEO of Novartis Pharma, Jimenez, told Reuters in New York that he expects the global drug markets to grow at just a mere 3 to 4%, which is significantly lower than what was estimated earlier on. Let's listen in.
Well, I'll tell you that the cost will clearly outweigh any benefit in terms of additional prescriptions that are written, because the costs are significant. If you look at the $80 billion package with the higher Medicaid rebates, you look at the donut hole contributions that the pharmaceutical industry will make in terms of the Medicare coverage gap, and they're significant. So I think we're going to have to, in the U.S., run our business in a very smart way. That means we're going to have to take cost out. There's a lot of costs that can come out of the system in terms of procurement costs. I'd say that the pharmaceutical industry and Novartis have not spent a lot of time and attention maybe on the cost side that is going to now become critically important to enable us to maintain margins.
So aside from what you can do in the U.S., are emerging markets going to be part of the answer for Novartis Pharmaceuticals? I mean, are you going to, you've made some big bets in China. Does that become even more important now that the U.S. is getting to be a little bit tougher of a market?
Yeah, well, this year to date, Novartis Pharma is the fastest growing large pharma company. So our net sales at the third quarter call, we announced that our net sales are up 11% versus a year ago. A lot of that is driven by our new product launches, but also a lot of it is driven by dramatic increases in some of our emerging markets. So our business in China is large, it's growing. We're making a big investment. We just announced last week that we are investing over $1 billion in China over the next 5 years to build one of the largest R&D facilities. We're investing in additional field reps. We're investing in additional clinical trial programs.
Can you give us some specifics, I guess, on numbers in China? Because on your website it says by 2020 you think that emerging markets will account for about 20% of the total prescription drug sales, and that's up from 8% today. Does that number speed up as we see a shift away from the U.S.?
I would say it could, but I would say that's probably a safe bet. So we're seeing our business in China, for example, growing at 30% a year. So it's a sizable business. It's growing significantly. The Chinese government has made a dramatic statement around how they're going to increase coverage for many Chinese around insurance and health insurance, health coverage. And so we see it as a long-term growth play.
So real quick, we could see emerging markets become bigger than 20% of total prescription drug sales before 2020, 2018?
I think we could. It depends a lot on what happens in terms of the U.S. market. But we still see a lot of growth in the U.S. market.